Take a nice deep breath. I'm always going to invite you to breathe and relax at the beginning of my videos. This is where we start to have access to who we truly are. Who is the true you? It's the part of you that exists before you were born and after you die. It is awareness itself, the stillness that is always here, regardless of what's happening, regardless of me, this person I am identified with sometimes, speaking into a camera right now. You are awareness itself. You extend out to the edges of the room. You exist everywhere. It's all you. It is all you. Everything that exists within your awareness is you. Would you exist without awareness? Just a question for contemplation. Would you exist without awareness? Nothing is outside of you. Nothing is external to you. We generally have a lived experience that we are here and all these things are happening outside of us because we're identified again with our bodies and our thoughts. So it appears like everything's happening outside of us. But when you start to open and take a deeper look, you start to realize that everything is within you. It's all you. It is all you. The outer world does not exist without your personal inner world. It's all the same thing. It's all connected. So I'm sure you've heard some people say, "Oh, the world mirrors your inner state." And that's true because it's all you. So I'll give an example of bliss because this, as you hear me talk a lot about on my channel, I talk about bliss because this was actually the first word that came to me when I really started to experience these profound depths of who we truly are, right? So it's like a heightened sense of awareness, radical aliveness, like everything, you feel so alive. And the first word that I was like, what is going on? The first word that came to me was bliss because it was like, holy crap, this is, it's delicious, it's delightful, this energetic, orgasmic state of being, of energy that I all of a sudden opened to and had access to. So I like to use the word bliss to describe this, but something that's been interesting along my journey was contemplating about, going within and experiencing this bliss. And I kept thinking, like, it doesn't just feel like a feeling, like it's not just like an internal physical feeling of bliss as we would generally or typically think of feelings, right? Like we feel a certain way, like an emotion, right? I'm like, this bliss is not, it's not an emotion. It's not isolated to my body. I'm like, it exists everywhere. And I couldn't really, of course, I'm in my mind trying to figure it out, just like I was telling you guys, try not to understand or figure anything out. Well, guess what? I still do because I am having a human experience. But I was like, no, this bliss exists everywhere. Like it's everywhere. It's not just like inside of me as I would think of me as my isolated body. And more recently, I started to realize that I'm like, holy crap, it does exist everywhere because it's all me. It's all a reflection of me, right? And when I say me, I don't mean myself identified as this person named Danielle with thoughts. I mean, because awareness, everything within your awareness, it's all you. So I'm like, yeah, that's why it's like, it seems like the bliss it like lives in the air. It lives in the open space. The open space that I can see appears to be bliss to me. Like it all looks like bliss. And now I can see why, because it's all me. It's all a reflection of my state of being. So it actually appears like the bliss is looking through my eyes. So most of us have the experience of like, it feels like we're looking out, like I said, into the external world from inside of our identified self as the body. Well, you start to it actually starts to feel like something else is looking through your eyes. It's the awareness itself and the bliss. And because the bliss is looking through your eyes, it's like that's what you see is bliss. Energetically, it's like everything is bliss. And the same thing goes for love. You start to experience this infinite love, right? Like it's at a depth that's beyond, the kind of love that so many people talk about. It exists at a greater depth. And so you will actually start to see more beauty in the world. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't problems or issues, injustices happening in the world, right? But it's like you start to see from a different place, and your experience of reality starts to transform. And the reason this is so beautiful is not because you become ignorant or just numb to the injustices happening in the world, but it's because it's beautiful because you're able to access infinite creativity and possibilities and respond to life circumstances from a totally different place. You're responding as the infinite love. You're responding as the bliss, right? Which means you're creating something totally unprecedented and new, because most people aren't operating from this space, which means the world that we've created has not been created from and as infinite love, and from and as bliss and freedom and peace and lightness and openness and expansion. So I want to leave that with you today, to just explore this bigger aspect of yourself that is real and true and will completely transform your life. I'm sending you so much love, bliss, and peace, and I will see you in the next video.